Well, not sure I've been involved in many games where we have more turnovers than baskets and win, but proud of our team, gritty, gutty, finding ways to get stops at the end. Um, I thought the physicality, what I was worried about going into the game, really bothered us at the offensive end. That's what they've shown on film, that they're disrupting everybody right now early in the league, in the season, and it's their identity. And we didn't handle it as well as I wanted, but we brought back a fight, and was proud of that group. I rode the starters and Rakia a lot of minutes tonight, but that big lineup, a big credit. Rakia really guarded Samuelson well in the second half, and keeping Cam and De'Erica out of foul trouble and on the floor together was huge. So the first one's always the hardest, and so proud of that young group to come up with our first win.
Coach, speaking of Rakia, there were a couple of plays throughout the game where, her hands just active defensively. She disrupted a couple of their sets, their forced turnovers, and that big block at the end of the game. Just kind of, what have you seen from her on that end of the floor? Not just tonight, but just overall.
Yeah, it's interesting because, when she plays the four, she's playing against people, the best position in the world in our league. And she's outmatched with size, but when she goes back to the three, she's got length and size, and so you see that in some of this disruption tonight as she played more three. But she's learning schemes, she's learning our rules and our shot clock, and she's learning the physicality. What's happening to her now, you can already see her going, okay, this is how we can play at the defensive end too. So again, she was big tonight offensively. She can just go get you a basket, and I know she had some turnovers late, but just really comfortable with her on the floor right now.
Coach Edwin Garcia, switch appeal. Cameron Brink had a plus 11, the highest plus minus on the team. I know that doesn't always tell the whole story of a game, but in a game where she had played 30 minutes, was plus 11 and only scored 4 points, how was she able to be a dominating factor in the result?
Yeah, her presence, even when she's not blocking shots, she's altering shots. Her ball pressure on their post players that were facilitating from the perimeter, she's a factor. Proud of her staying out of foul trouble tonight against Olsen and Austin. Again, we've got to find her more shots. She's unselfish to a fault. Even when she gets catches, she's just not a natural hunt for her own offense type of player. But that will come. But her immediate impact here as she, gets accustomed to playing in this league is certainly at the defensive end. And again, big play at the end of the game, with another block and alteration of a shot.
Mark Medina on the right.
Yeah, on that note, though, the last play, what goes into making consecutive stops in the same possession?
Yeah, it's communication. It's, a will to, stay in plays. And being very disciplined. Those last plays, we're all trying to get someone to make a mistake and try to get a 2-man action where someone overcommits one way or the other. So you have to be really, really solid and stay really disciplined in that situation. And I thought we did a really good job in late game special situations defensively. Our special situations offensively were great, but we did what we needed to do to win.
Eric?
Coach, congratulations on the first win. Eric Lampkins the second, cover to the Observer. What did you learn about your team tonight, and how is this group compelling you to grow and evolve?
Yeah, I think what I learned was that, I'm very scout heavy, probably the most scout heavy coach in the league and have been for years. And so I tend to highlight what our opponents do all the time. And so some of my teams be like, well, Coach, we're physical too. And when we got to the locker room and we talked about the physicality and we talked about, are we gonna have that aggression back and that competitiveness back, would we have it? And we did. So what I learned is I got a really competitive group. We are young, we're gonna make mistakes. We've had 13 practices. I have a lot of new players in that top 6. Half the top 6 is my first year with me, and a lot of players off the bench are in their first year with me. So we're not going to look aesthetically great in the month of May, but we'll get better and better. But I learned that we have a tough group.
Coach LT Willis, Tiki Sports TV1. I thought you guys did a great job of limiting them to 1 shot despite the turnovers. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, with 16 defensive rebounds, De'Erica led that charge. I think at halftime we had 3 people with a rebound. That's kind of unheard of. And De'Erica was the only one rebounding. So we challenged more people to get on the boards, but as you see, it was really De'Erica that dominated the defensive glass for us. And we did a good job. They had 3 offensive rebounds pretty early and ended with 7. So, I thought we did a much better job in the second half, obviously, holding them to 1 and done.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, DJ from Infinity TV. We saw Lexi Brown bringing the ball up and handling the ball a little bit more. Was that a part of the plan, or was that an adjustment that you made during the game?
Being able to have one of the guards out and playing a bigger lineup and sliding Rakia down to the 3 can happen with De'Erica and Cam are out of foul trouble and fresh enough to go. De'Erica's motor, she would probably play another game if I rolled her out here right now. Her motor's just crazy, but it allows us, when Cam's not in foul trouble, it allows us to play Rakia more at the 3. Again, we're a 6'6" player down, and Azrae Stevens not here, and so it's desired. And so when we take out Leja, we slide Lexi from the 2 to the 1. We had success with it despite the loss against Vegas, so we wanted to relook at it tonight. When we can get out and transition, I really like with Lexi at the point. Again, she hasn't run point. I told you, not 1 second of training camp. So running late game situations, execution, when we get slowed down in the half court is a work in progress for everything. But really credit Lexi. It says I took her out for 7 seconds. I don't think I did, but the box score says that she got a 7-second rest.
Jude?
Hey, Coach. Judo Kanyas, Annenberg Media. I'm wondering about your rotation heading towards the season. Right now you have a 6-man rotation. I'm wondering if you're broadening that as the season goes on, and maybe you're not getting contributions from the bench. What do you want to see more from the bench as you go through this season?
Yeah, I have confidence in the bench and told them afterwards the same thing. And I thought we did have contributions from the bench. Rakia comes off the bench. I thought Stephanie Talbot's 5 minutes were really effective. Could have easily gone back to her, but Rakia was in a role, and so Steph plays the 3, so we rolled with Rakia tonight. But Stephanie Talbot is a pro, is a proven, a bona fide piece of the puzzle of championship teams. And she's coming back off of her in ACL, but I have total confidence that way. Zaya Cook's going to have a good second year, so that unit I have a lot of confidence. Lee LaRue dominates in practice. You guys haven't seen what she's capable yet. I'm really excited about what she brings, a different type of physical, big center presence for us that's really skilled. So that group is coming. I tell them all the time, it's deposits in the bank. The more equity you put in the bank for me, the more you're going to get your opportunities. So we're coming up on a 4-game after we start again. We'll play 4 games in 7 days in 3 different cities. So, the bench will now have to start really, really playing more minutes.
Thank you, Cal.
Oh, here we go. Coach, Mike Hill, Matthew, Infinity TV. Just when it comes to De'Erica, I talked to her before the game, and she said, she talked to you guys in the offseason, said, hey, I want to be an all-star once again. I want to be the number 1 player on this team. What have you seen from not only the practices, training camp, but also the game so far that's showing you guys that it's somebody that we can lean on?
Yeah, first, she's an incredible competitor. She's got a great motor, and she's really hard to guard because of that. But what she's off to is an efficient start. She's playing within the offensive system and finding her opportunities. We're not running a ton of plays that are De'Erica plays. we're running actions where we think De'Erica can be successful in, and our guards are finding her. But she's creating a bunch of her own offense because of her motor, and she's getting out in transition. She's rebounding. You know, she just is an incredible worker. You know, as she said, she has a lot of personal goals for herself this year, and she's really doing a great job on the glass. Not only is she scoring efficiency, but the rebound numbers have been really impressive out of the gate.
Hi, Coach. Nia Fife at the 562. I was just wondering your overall feelings after getting this first win on the season.
Yeah, you know, really, wins are hard to come by. And, you know, in this build, not at 100% right now, every win is huge for us, for our confidence in what we're doing. And so, you know, really proud of them. It was two teams that mirrored each other, that are trying to find an identity, that are certainly both of us have an absolute direction that we're taking right now. And it's fun, you know, like it's fun. We're both scrappy. We're both play our tails off. You know, I coached all those years against Mike Tebow, Eric. You know, we believe the same way. We like the same players. You know, like I still like Carly Samuelson, you know, and so it's fun. I always said, you know, Mike always made me better. Now I look forward to these chess match with Eric. So just truly exciting for us to get one in the win column, and now we're in a homestand. So can't wait to be in crypto, and should be a huge crowd with Indiana coming.
Joseph.
Hey Coach, this is Joseph from the Bet on Her Collective. Can you walk us through the final clutch plays? There were a couple of moments there where the team showed a lot of resilience. What was the poise like? What did you guys talk about in the huddle to kind of keep the team together?
Yeah, I think real late we turned our focus to our stops and our defense, because we didn't want to dwell on the turnovers or the lack of shots that we weren't getting because we were turning the ball over in those situations. And then, you know, it's always important to execute. It's easier said than done to get the ball inbounds to get fouled. There's an art to that. You have someone you have to trust out of bounds. You have to get the ball to people that you trust to make foul shots. And I thought in late game situations with a young new team, we executed well with our out of bounds plays to get it in and get fouled. That's never underrated from a coach's standpoint. So many teams lose in those situations because they just can't get, even though they're going to get fouled, they can't get the ball in. So I give our players a lot of credit to execute to that situation tonight.
We're going to go to Zoom for Cameron Ruby.
Hi, this is Cameron Ruby from the Next. I'm just curious, you know, the post play was obviously pretty serious tonight. Cam played really good defense at the end and stayed out of foul trouble. I was just wondering kind of what it's like in practice, kind of trying to get her to that point where she's able to be on the floor for 30 minutes.
Yeah, she's such a good rim protector and help side defender that, you know, she has to pick her spots on, you know, when to come and be, you know, force around the rim. She was really challenged tonight because we put her on Stephanie Dolson, and Stephanie Dolson's going to pick and pop and really space the floor. And so she tends to want to chase the ball off the ball because she is such a good rim protector and help side person. And the challenge was, you've got to do both. You've got to be able to guard Stephanie Dolson on the perimeter, and still we need you to come at times to the rim and help us with your size. So, you know, she is a sponge, an absolute pleasure to coach every day. She's got a positive attitude. She's got a learning approach. She wants to get better. She wants to be told how to get better. So I love working with her. I love the positive attitude. The offense will come. She just doesn't naturally look for her own offense, but she's really talented. So it's only a matter of time.
Last question, Jude.
Hey Coach, just one question on Rakia Jackson. You said pregame that you had a mantra: fight for the role you want, be a champion in the role you've earned. I'm curious, how has Rakia Jackson done that both in practice and games, and what you've noticed in these 3 games and in practice so far?
Yeah, same kind of thing with Cam, right? A little bit overwhelmed, I think she would admit at times, with everything that we've thrown at her in these first 13 days, on top of trying to ask her to play 2 different positions in the greatest league in the world. But you know, the openness to it, understanding that we were bringing her off the bench. She was rewarded tonight because of her play in Vegas. That was the equity. She put some equity in the bank. She made some plays early that allowed us to stick with it and go to that lineup again in the third quarter. So, you know, it's all a process, and, you know, I think she's seeing that she does the little things, she keeps growing, she keeps learning, she's gonna earn more and more. So just really pleased with those two. I mean, you guys, if you knew what was asked of them right now, representing us and the opportunities they have off the court, and then still come to perform every day, every morning, the lifting and the extra shooting and the film work before we even get to practice, and then they're gonna go represent us at the Dodgers game, and they're gonna go represent us, which is so important to build our brand back up to what has been a long time, a championship, and you know, the gold star of our league for so long. Those two are gonna help bring that gold star back, that people are gonna wanna play in LA. People are gonna see what the Sparks are gonna be again, and it's not gonna happen overnight, but what we're asking of those two on and off the court is pretty remarkable, of how open they've been, how receptive they've been, how easy they are to coach. They are truly, truly special people.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.